This example features a table containing the sales data of 10 brands over a 6-month period. It's possible to easily insert the missing headers without manually entering any text ourselves. Let's select the first header, Brand 1, and click on the fill handle, more commonly known as the small black square in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell. Left-click on the square, and whilst holding it down, move the mouse to the last cell. If the text that we are copying starts or ends with a number, for example, Brand 1 or Group 1, or if it's a day of the week or month of the year, Excel will create a chronological sequence automatically. When the text contains a number, Excel increases the first number by 1, then the next number by 1, and so on. In the cases of days and months, the next day of the week or month of the year will be inputted respectively. When you copy numbers or text, the same value will be entered in all the selected cells. The contents of the last cell of the range we are copying into is shown in a rectangle, which is always visible when holding down the left mouse button. Whilst copying, a rectangle containing the text June is visible, which will be inserted into the last of the cells. We'll now use a sum formula in cell C14 and copy it horizontally to summarize the sales of all the months. When copying formulas, the rectangle with the value of the last cell isn't shown. A much faster way to copy is to double-click on the small black square in the lower right-hand corner of the active cell. Excel copies the cells as far down as the data in the column to the left of the activated cell. If there is no data in the left column, then Excel uses the right column instead. If neither column is filled, nothing happens when you double-click. Now we'll enter the sum of Brand 1 and copy it by double-clicking on the fill handle. The copying stopped at cell I13 because data was entered in the column next to H13, and there is a formula in cell H14. If we copy this way, and a column containing the same type of values is on the left, the copying will stop at the end of the column. This method significantly speeds up work on long tables. Unfortunately, this method cannot be used for horizontal copying. If one of the cells in the column on the left is empty, copying will stop at that point. We can also copy using the copy and paste commands. To copy the currently selected cell or area, click the copy icon from the Home tab. Copy is one of the most frequently used commands, and therefore it's also available in the menu that appears after right-clicking. To paste the most recently copied data, click on the paste icon, which can be found here or here. You can also cut the data instead of copying it. In this case, the data will disappear from the original cell or area and only reappears when pasted in a new place. I suggest practicing these operations. If we perform another operation in Excel between cutting or copying and pasting, Excel will forget what was copied or cut. The useful keyboard shortcuts are Ctrl-C for copying. You can remember that C stands for copy, Ctrl-V for paste, Ctrl-X for cut. The X resembles scissors. It's convenient to use shortcut keys as they greatly speed up your work. Be especially careful when copying formulas, because the relative addresses for the formulas change when copied. You can find out more about this in the lesson Relative and Absolute Cell References. You don't have to copy everything from a cell. After copying and selecting the cell where you want to paste the data, you can right-click and choose the option Paste Special. The most useful options from the Paste Special window are Values, which pastes the value. If we copied a formula, only its value will be pasted. Formulas, which only pastes the formula and doesn't change the formatting of a cell. Transposition, which pastes rows into columns. For example, a horizontal table becomes a vertical table. Divide, which is useful for changing the units of numbers. We don't have to go through the Paste Special window though. Many commands have their own shortcut icons. The most popular command pastes values, which we will practice now. We'll paste the value of cell I14 into cell C22. We start by selecting I14 and using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-C. In the next step, activate cell C22, right-click on it, and select the icon Paste Special, then Values. Now we'll practice pasting links and then dividing. First, select the area from cells I4 to I14 and copy it using Ctrl-C. Second, select cell M4 and right-click on it. Third, click on the Paste Link button. The result is that cell M4 now links to cell I4. Since the data in column M should be in thousands according to the header, we'll divide this range by 1000. In a separate cell, for example O4, enter 1000, copy it, select the range from M4 to M14, and select Paste Special. In the Paste Special window, select Divide and press OK. Now, all the links have been divided by 1000. In the next example, we need to copy the formula from cell I3 into these cells, but in such a way that we don't change the cell formatting. Selecting the square by left-clicking on it and dragging it downwards will change the formatting, because both the formula and the formatting will be copied from cell I3. When we right-click on the small black square and then drag it downwards, after releasing the mouse, a menu will be displayed allowing us to select Fill Without Formatting, so only the formula will be copied. The same effect can be achieved by copying the cell and then selecting the Formulas option from the Paste Special menu, but right-clicking is much faster. Using Ctrl whilst copying. Whether or not the Control key is held down during copying has a large effect on the copying result. Let's analyze this using 4 examples. Copy cell B5 into the following 9 cells by clicking on the fill handle and dragging the mouse down as usual. We'll do the same for cell C5, but before letting go of the button on the mouse, press and hold down the Control key. Before releasing the mouse button, Excel shows which value the last of the cells will have. After pressing the Control key, it changes from group 10 to group 1. If we hold down the Control key, the numbering of the groups will not increase by 1. When copying the names of months or days, holding down Control won't result in entering subsequent months, but copying the same month. For digits, copying without Control copies the same digit, and when we hold Control the digit increases by 1. Basically, the rule for numbers is the exact opposite of the rule for text. Why? I do not know. If, however, we select a few numbers, in this case 2 cells with the numbers 10 and 20, and we drag the fill handle without holding down Control, the cells will be filled with an arithmetic numerical sequence based on the difference between the selected cells. If you hold down Control, these cells will be copied below with the same values. You can learn how to copy formats in the lesson Formatting. More copying options with predefined lists are shown in the lesson Custom Lists from the Advanced Excel course. Please appreciate all the work that has gone into the making of these video tutorials by the writers and editors. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below.